Hi guys, Raven Song here. I hope that last video recorded because I'm getting kind of skeptical about the settings that just came up on the screen. I got a whole bunch of stuff in. I kind of got a little bit of a haul here. Sorry, my ball's making lots of noise. Anyways, the first one is everybody has seen this already, so I'm going to make these pretty quick because I think there's a lot of videos out here. This is from Three Trees Tarot. It is the, of course, Heartwood Volume 5. Interesting. Heartwood Tarot. And I wasn't going to buy it. I told myself no. But yeah, it happened anyways. And with it, it was in Kickstarter or pre-order or whatever. It came with a lot of little extras. This is my little number card, 1356. Came with little stickers. What else do we got here? Dear friends, a little note. I saw a Kelly Fitzgerald had a deck, like a tester deck that she went over online, and it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I hate spiders, but this guy's so cute. I think that came up in a conversation recently about as long as spiders are not photographed, really, yeah. Certain photographs of spiders and the actual spiders themselves are not my cup of tea. Give me a snake any day of the week. But these little cute cartoon ones are absolutely wonderful. A note from the creator encloses a sneak peek of our next tarot deck, The Winding, where a spider will be our fool. Oh God, I don't know if I can do that. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I love that little spider guy that looks like that they do a lot of YouTubes on. He's pretty cute. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. What's this one here? Instructions. Feeling stuck and uncertain. What's ahead? Simply flip it over to scratch the foil and reveal a simple yes or no answer. Okay, we got a little oracle scratchy thing here. That's kind of cool. Discovery, unease, and home. Okay, these are little prints of some of the cards. Anyways, I was saying before, Kelly Fitzgerald did a walkthrough of it, and she does a fabulous job. If you want more detail, go to her page. You get a whole education on her page, on her account, her channel. Yeah, you can get a whole education there, and I loved her approach to it and the way she described how this is. Like all contained in the house. This is like a warm, cozy place for this little mouse to go and live and wait out the winter and, explore. And it's just fabulous. And I loved how there were a lot of little throwbacks to the Oak, Ash, and Thorn deck, also by Three Trees. It just looked, yeah. I told myself no, and I did it anyways. See if I can get this out of the paper without tearing it. I don't like tearing the paper. I don't like tearing those rings for some reason. For some reason, I just don't like tearing them. Non-reversible backs, but I don't care about that either. So that's the backs. Thank you card there. Yeah. This is going to be a stunning deck. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm in shot here with this. think that gets me right in the, close to the middle. Nope, need to go back this way. All right. This is hard to do on the phone, but I want to do this fairly quickly because I've got 2 other decks to look at and a book. So, anyways, so the Heartwood Tarot, like I said, it's an exploration of this house, and along with the tarot and the roads of following the Fool, and it's this little mouse, and yeah, so cute, so cute. And I'm one of those that I'm not a big fan of animal decks, but I have a lot of them because I find their imagery so beautiful. And like I said, we're gonna only go through this pretty quick because I've got those other ones to look at, and there's plenty of them out there. This is where those little throwbacks to the oak, ash, and thorn, like in the photos, the pictures hanging on the wall, I think are really quite fun. Strength. We got the snake and the mouse. Snakes. Justice. In fact, I think I'm just going to go through the major arcana here, because everybody has seen this. You can find this on so many other channels and much more in depth. The little foxes and the image backgrounds. It's a little sad. The tower. I think it's interesting that the tower is a little bit more like, the outside's more scary than the inside. That the house is the safety. It's the outdoors that's not. Interesting to look at that way. The sun, judgment, look at yourself in the mirror, and the world. First those almost look like little eyeballs, but it's rolled wallpaper. Oh, and he's in the wreath right there. The world. The world is your oyster. Unease. Oh, these are extras. Unease. I'm going to set these aside. Discovery. Tend. Surprise. And home. Interesting. So those are extra cards. I'm going to slip those at the back like that. And that's as far as we're going to go on this. Like I said, you can get a more in-depth view of these, but they're absolutely beautiful. It's a good sturdy cardstock. It's a matte finish. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Quite like it. It's just a tuck box, which I was kind of surprised. I know that when I got Oak, Ash, and Thorn, she made some hand-dyed cloth and wrapped them in them, and did the whole tie-off thing and everything. And I know all that stuff is time-consuming and it's rather expensive, but I really did like that little touch on the Oak, Ash, and Thorn. And I don't think we were given that option with this. Either that or I decided I didn't need another reading cloth, and so I didn't order it. The next one I'm going to open is, oh good, it's got a little pull tab on it, is this one that I've been seeing pop up here and there on YouTube and Instagram. Different people have got it, and I've been looking at it for a while and toying with the idea of it, but hadn't pulled the trigger on it until recently when I saw Ethany Dawn's video, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to do it because it's quite beautiful, and I wasn't sure if I liked the photorealism on it, but it's intriguing, and I think it's an in-depth deck. It's one of those that's going to draw you in and make you look at it harder. to see what's going on, which I like that a lot, especially when I'm doing my own readings. But anyways, let's just do a quickie on this one too. There's a lot of videos out there on this also. Didn't want to mess up that fold. It's just a tuck box. Has beautiful, it's a matte finish, and it has this beautiful and golden blossoming in it. It's the, sorry, I guess I should give you the title, Tarot of the Drowning World. So all this stuff was taken in, from what I understand, a bathtub, or in a tub of some sort, where these poses, these scenes were set up. It's absolutely, like I said, it's very unique and captivating. One thing, I think it's in French. It's definitely not an English deck on the titles, and they're very small down here. So it does help to be familiar with the Marseille. It's based on Marseille, I guess is what it comes down to. It's not a Marseille deck, but it's based in Marseille, if that makes sense. And this is the book that came with it. Did it come from the same place? Friedman's Workshops presents Mais Lulu's Tarot du Monde Perdu, Guidebook of the Tarot of the Drowning World. So, yeah, it actually goes with it. The names don't match up, but it definitely goes with the deck itself. Here's your major arcana. So this card gives you a list of, so you can do the major arcana, at least connect. Batons are wand, coupes are cups, épée is swords, épées, and denaries is pentacles or coins. Kind of like Johanna Jonas, her decks are Portuguese, but again, it's that Marseille verbiage, if that makes sense. The book is not in French, thank you, or Italian. It is English, so that helps a lot. I can't wait to dive into this. It's got this wonderful thin paper. The book cover is a little bit on the thin side, so it's very flexible. Sometimes I like those a little bit thicker. Medicine and poison. That's interesting. I noticed that earlier. Yeah. You have your medicine and your poison is how it's listed. So I'm assuming, your upright and your reverse type of thing. What is good and what is bad, which kind of breaks down that whole upright and reverse, so it doesn't have to necessarily be reverse. Kind of encourages you to look at both. What's the bad side of it and what's the good side of it? Or what is healing to you and what is destructive to you. So I like that idea so this is definitely one I'm going to want to dive into a little bit deeper, just because you've got that different terminology going on in the book. The book is all black and white, but they're full page images. This should be interesting. This should be really, really interesting to go through. A loose leaf almanac, a book of hours, handbook of, what is this stuff? Let me see here. Oracles. I'm not sure how this all plays in together, so I'm going to have to do some deep reading before I can comment on that. An accounting of an oracle or oracular suerte, an ancestral encounter, divine in the deep water, diving into the deep waters. This is kind of interesting. They're interesting titles for each section. It's piqued my curiosity, so I'm really looking forward to diving into this and seeing what all it has to say. And then it goes into the majors, part 1 and part 2. I noticed that there's a huge shift in color here. The minor arcana is part 3, so there's 2 parts to the major, it looks like. And yeah, 2 parts to the major and 2 parts to the 1 part to the minor. Now I'm noticing that the first part has the medicine and poison. The second part, no, it does the medicine and poison too. Interesting, is it? What makes this section different? Or maybe it's just the second half of it. Maybe that's all they've done is divide them in half. And maybe I'm just reading more into that extra page. I don't know. I'm not sure why it's saying part 1 and part 2. I don't know. We'll have to dive into that more and figure it out. Anyways, so let's take a quick peek at these. They are just absolutely beautiful, and hopefully there's no glare. I only have the light above and my window behind me on. So we'll just go through the majors here. Batlur is the magician. It's kind of creepy. And I think that's probably why I've held off on getting it, because some of these seem rather creepy and some of them are quite beautiful. These are they're narrow, but they're very large cards, very tall. And I hate to say it, a part of me wants to see these images even larger so I can really see what's in them. The Empress, the Emperor, he's magnificent, I like him a lot. The Pape, Amour, the Lovers. That's a really creepy one. The Lovers is creepy. The Chariot. Some of these people look like they actually had fun doing it, and other of them took it very seriously, and they made it very, I don't know. There's creepy, and then there's creepy. Depends on what kind of creepy it is. Creepy in its realism, or creepy in its just, clown faces. Kind of like haha funny and haha strange. Anyways, Wheel of Fortune. I guess what comes out is some of these pictures, the people look dead, and others of them look like they're actually having fun. That might be a better way to phrase it. This is wild with all the different markings on his body. It's crazy. It's crazy that these people did that, were willing to do these poses for them in a bathtub, and where they got all this stuff to float in the water is just amazing to me too. Though it looks like it's probably something very, very shallow. Interesting. pretty wild. They are pretty wild. It's interesting. Definitely something I want to explore. This is wild. The mirror effect on either side is pretty wild. Pretty cool. That one's a little creepy. That one must be the devil. Let me see here. No, it's not the devil. Oh, maybe these are extra cards. He's wearing a bat mask, and this one's Madame Lulu. I think these are extra cards. Yes, it is. Disguise, knowledge, madness. Disguise, knowledge, madness. So these are those extra. Sometimes the Marseilles have the constellations in them also, the gods of the constellations. So that's interesting. This one's the dreamer, and this one's the drowning man. I could see replacing the hanged man for the drowning man, but I like the drowning man in this, and I don't think it's necessary to confuse oneself any more than that. So that's interesting. So we got a few extra cards there. And then the rest of the deck is pretty much Pip style. So we won't go into that. The kings and queens remind me of those vegetable paintings. I can't remember who the artist is on those, where their faces made out of vegetables. Anyways, yeah. So these ones become very much Pip style, and well, it's Marseille, so we got like wheat stalks for. Or well, actually, I guess it would be swords, because it's these scythes for harvesting, the scythe. And the coins are like little medallions, so they aren't really coins. Interesting. I don't know. Anyways, so that is the Tarot of the Drowning, or the sorry. The Tarot of the Drowning World, yes. Very, very interesting. It's definitely not one I would use with my clients, at least not right off the bat. I would probably use this one for self-exploration first. The cards are very flexible. I don't want to bend them, but it's not wanting to go in there very well. I'm not going to force it. Anyways, the next one that came out that I picked up because I kind of looked at it online, but I wasn't quite sure I wanted it. And then Simon had it recently, sent to him. And out of all the ones that he's had sent recently, this is the only one that really kind of went, ooh, that's a fascinating looking deck. I think I like the artist on it. So I decided to go ahead and pick it up, just on Amazon. Yeah, I think it's a U.S. Games deck. It's the Curious Travels Tarot by Amelia Roser. It's got a decent little book here, but it's a basic little white book, but it's a little bit definitely heavier page stock. It does have the images in there, and yes, it does talk about the images, so that it gives you that little extra boon. So you do get the artist's impression of what is in the imagery on it. So that's good. I like that. Great little box. I like this. It's quite beautiful. Bring your inquisitive mind and your sense of whimsy as you embark on the terror adventure of There Is No Journey to Be Had Without a Curious Traveler. Composed of charming watercolor illustration, Curious Traveler Tarot deck shares precious tales of wonder, love, disappointment, new beginnings, insightful stories of every change. Has the elephant, lovers and wise old Hierophant, you find strength, lion's gaze, blah 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 blah. Yeah, so just a basic sales pitch there. I like this box inside. I like the way this is set up. It's not like the old inserts. It's much more sturdy. It's pretty cool. Now, I don't know if my ribbon was supposed to be detached, but it's detached. I might want to secure that in a little bit better. Maybe later. Anyways. Of course, I didn't bring my knife over this time. I've been going through my tarot recently, my cases, my cabinets, and I'm pretty sure I have under 300 decks, but I'm not sure where I stand exactly anymore. But I know I need to clearance out a lot of stuff, and I've got a huge backstop of what I used to take to shows. So I've got a lot of new decks. Unopened, just backstock decks from retail that I need to liquidate also. But kind of going through my own and definitely kind of laying down the law as to what kind of deck I want to keep. And most of what I want to keep is anything that is collectible, for one thing, rare, out of prints. But on top of that, they are ones that have spoken to me much deeper than others. So I am doing that right now. And I don't know, buying more decks doesn't really help that. But I'm pretty sure what I'm picking up lately has been more geared towards that. Ones that I want to keep and hang on to, or plan to keep and hang on to. Anyways, I think what stood out for me on this deck is that I like the simplicity of the watercolor imagery, and then that little accent of gold just popped out quite a bit. And this is a linen cardstock, which is something I guess US Games has started doing, which is pretty cool. We've got a reversible back. It's very interesting, very unique. I've never really had a back of a card look like that before, so that's really fascinating. You got a nice little book, like I said. And it does have the talk about the images in there, which is great. Very slippy because of the linen cardstock, but that's okay. The Magician. I think there's something about this that is so different from a lot of my other decks. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I love that. Maybe it's just the watercolorness of it. It kind of has the best of all worlds in the imagery, and that accent of gold just kind of sets everything off. The Hierophant. looks like it's going to be an animal-based deck, which isn't my favorite, as I've said before, but it's quite unique. You know, but it's not. I mean, then you have something like this that is not animal-based. There was something about this, and maybe it's just because it speaks to all aspects of artistry in it that it appealed to me so much. This is beautiful. I love that death card. Temperance. I think it would be considered maybe a modern take on tarot. The imagery is a little bit more modern, but yet there's this mysterious feel to it. It's interesting. It's almost got a surreal quality to it also. The design work is amazing. Something about this reminds me of the Oswald Worth tarot. I love that deck for its symbolism and its more Golden Dawnish interpretations, or the way it's read, which kind of leads into the Marseille style. I don't know how to describe the Oswald Worth. I know I did a video on it earlier on, and yeah, it's been so long since I've done that now it's not cohesing in my head how to describe it. But I love Oswald's work. It has a lot to do with ceremonial magician type stuff, knowledge. But that one reminds me of that a lot. This one reminds me of it too, and I think it's just in the design work. The way she did the numbers on the bottom reminds me of that. I'm not sure what it is. Is it because it's boxed off? And Oswald Work kind of the different parts of the imagery is boxed off. I can't remember. I'd have to compare them side by side. It's just beautiful. I mean, it's very surreal but modern. I don't know how else to describe it, but I absolutely think this deck is just beautiful. It has more detail than what's that other deck that's oval shaped? That's a watercolor artist. And I love that one. I love the quality of the cardstock, the rose petal finish, and the red backs and the gold embossing. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful production piece. Hard deck to work with. Number one, it's hard to shuffle. And she did make it smaller, but it's still not the easiest deck. It was very stiff cards. Even the small one the stiffness made it hard to shuffle. But this one's kind of got more detail than that watercolor one, but yet it still has this surreal feel to it. I think this is stunning. Yeah, this is definitely a keeper deck. It's gonna get its own bag and its special place in my collection. But I do have a feeling I'm gonna be able to clear out quite a few decks out of my cabinets. But there's a lot that I'm gonna keep. I can't tear myself away from a lot of them. They're just mean too much to me. You know, I just hope somebody after me will appreciate them as much as I do. We'll see. But I'm gonna enjoy them as long as I can. This is just beautiful. I just love this deck. I want to leave this out on my table, but it feels more springy to me, and we're heading into the winter months. So I may have to tuck it away to take out after the new year. Well, that's interesting. The king and queen of cups are fish. The fish king and the fish queen. Not sure I like his eyeballs in that one. But again, that brings in that surreal quality to it. Very much Waite Smith imagery. Interesting. I like it. I like it a lot. This is definitely my cup of tea. This is beautiful. It's so provocative in its imagery. It really makes you want to look at it closer and see if you can get more out of it than what's blatant, which would be the Waite Smith connection immediately. But then you want to dive in more and see what's going on. Kind of like the waters, the drowned world one also. I like decks that do that draw you in deeper than just the superficial image. You know, there's somebody that's saying a tarot deck is a tarot deck is a tarot deck. Yes and no. They're all tarot decks, yes, but the artists themselves and how they put the imagery together, how they play on the meanings and put the meanings into them, it really affects how you read. They have a voice of their own. There's a debate on that too. Does the tarot really have a voice? I think they do. I think the artists put their voices into it. If they know what they're doing, they put their voices into it. And extra knowledge from another reader is just, that much more enriching into your standard of use. Ooh, the Traveler. That's interesting because that's that card that I got with the Archeo deck. This was called the Wanderer. But that's, these might go together good too. I think this would play with the Archeo deck also. I like that Traveler card. That's almost one that I would want to put on my altar and leave it up. Travelers. Let's see what that says about the Travelers. Is it at the back? Bonus card, the Travelers. The Travelers card was created by the artist specifically for the Curious Travelers Tarot deck. It signifies the forward motion, adventure. It's optional for the reader to include it and pull it in the reading. Same meaning regardless of the orientation. You're bound for a fresh experience. So it's just an extra card. It's what you want to do with it. But I almost want that as a altar card. I like that a lot. And yeah, I'm kind of thinking that pairs very nicely with that Archeo deck also. Anyways, that is the Curious Travelers Tarot. I think it's absolutely stunning and I'm quite thrilled with it. Happy to add it to my collection, the collective, and look forward to using it. But I think I'm going to wait till spring because it just feels like more of a spring deck or new beginnings type thing. The last thing I wanted to show you was this book. This book came up recently, and I'm not sure if it's actually still available through Schiffer or not. I got it through Amazon, but I know it came from a secondary seller, and I don't think, well, it says 2012, so it should be still available. This one came up because Mad Witch did a tag on YouTube, and it was the, God, what was it? It was the murder mystery tag, I believe. or game that you played with the tarot that helps you explore the tarot. This is geared to help you explore the tarot in more creative and fun ways. And I'm pretty sure it was a murder mystery that she was doing. And it has all these wonderful little games that you can play with the cards in order to familiarize yourself with it. And I just thought that was so fun, and it sounded quite fun. And I decided to go ahead and get the book. I didn't realize it came from a book until I went to the original video, and that the original person, I can't remember her name, I'm so sorry, she presented it, and so that was kind of cool. Playing with different decks, journal keeping, first contact, 24 ways to get acquainted with your cards. Committed. Oh, this actually goes over the cards themselves, which is kind of cool. The Empress, the Emperor. So the first part you're getting Empress, the Moon, Judgment, the World. And then it does go into each of the suits. Ace of Wands, Two of Wands. So it's like a guidebook, really. It's almost a learning book is what I'm seeing out of this. It's more like a study guide. Clicking with the court cards. So does that go all the way through Wands? Wands. Did it do all of them? Did it just do Wands? No, they could have just done Wands. Tom, Dick, and Harry Cups. Oh, maybe that's just a page. Part 3. Friends in high places. Ways to click with your court cards. Two of Cups. Ace of Cups. Is that out of place? I don't know. And then it goes immediately into Three of Cups. 4 of Cups, 5 of Cups, 6 of Cups. So I'm not sure. Part 4, just my archetype. 22 ways to make it with majors. And then it goes into swords. So I'm not sure why these dividers are part 2, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, because they don't seem to coincide with what comes next in the book. So that's kind of weird. I'm not sure why they have those divided sections divided off. Pentacles. You know, maybe this is not the book I thought it was. Huh. I might have to go back and look at that video again, because I'm not sure this is exactly what I thought it was. This is interesting. I'm not sure this is exactly what I was looking for. Part 1, first contacts, get acquainted with your cards. Part 2, stepping out, way of mingling with the minors. Part 3, friends in high places, way to click with the courts. Way to make the majors. Small ways to show you care. Playlist index cards. I don't know, is this like a misprint printed book. It's weird. Final curtain. Playlists. So, okay, so these are the playlists. Things to do with tips using overslept, late work, solitaire business. Off of the heads. Call. Dancing with the devil. Face off. Old school. Dinner with friends. Amateur dramatics. Final curtain. Maybe this is where they got the game part of it. Let's see. It's interesting. Card index. Maybe this is where it's just this last few pages that has the games. And maybe because I didn't watch that video all the way through, maybe she had just inspired her the idea of the tag to do the murder mystery dinner thing. I don't know. I guess I'll need to go back and look. So I might be misguided on this one altogether. But it does look interesting. It looks like a good reference guide. Pretty straightforward. Has a lot of extra information. Very creative ways of learning the deck. So I will give it that. I'm not sure I'm a fan of its setup. It's a little confusing. Of course, I'm going off of apparently some misinformation. Probably on my own fault, my own part. That I didn't follow through on that video to see exactly where it was going. Anyways, but this is called The Tarot Playbook by Linda Cowles. It looks fascinating. I think I will enjoy browsing through it and maybe getting creative and create some games myself. I do have another tarot game book that I absolutely love, and it's wonderful for working in groups, especially with my coven group, and we've used it many times where we did different spreads. But this one, like I said, is geared more towards learning the cards themselves. So, very creative way of learning it and getting yourself acquainted with each card and their meanings. So, anyways, that's the end of my little collection of gatherings that have come along in the last few weeks, and I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if I rambled a little bit too much, wittered on, as some people say, but I hope it wasn't too confusing. But anyways, they're all lovely decks. I'm so happy to add them to my collection. I am just absolutely thrilled with all of these, and hopefully, I don't see these ones leaving, and I'll, be seeing you on the tube. Anyways, thank you so much. I'm just getting a little baffled here. It's time for me to go home. I need to get some sleep. We'll talk to you later. Bye.